I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Now, today we're reading from the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 2. Let's focus on verses 18 through 20. So we wanted to come to you, even I, Paul, time and again, but Satan hindered us. For who is our hope or joy or crowning of boasting in the presence of the Lord Jesus at his coming? Is it not you? For you are our glory and joy. Now, when I was a kid, the cool thing was to have a brand new pair of white tennis shoes, right? Everyone got new shoes for school, but a few trips to the playground and then the shoes quickly faded their glory. I mean, dirt happens, right? And occasionally a footwear miracle would occur. Some lucky kid would defy all odds and his shoes would retain their out-of-the-box whiteness for months on end. And in the fall of 1982, I was that miracle kid at my school. I recall the day that the miracle ended. It was well past Thanksgiving, and I had stepped off the school bus, and the air was crisp and really quite cool for a sunny day. And I was strutting my Fred Perry pure whites to homeroom when out of nowhere, Ron Street ran up and raked his muddy penny loafer across the top of my shoelaces, and he yelled, "Skid mark!" And then he ran off. Oh, apparently he'd been jealous for some time. I was devastated. Some guys are just plain mean. Speaking of mean, the devil is mean. There's nothing that Satan wants more than to keep you from God, to steal the glory of your kingdom work. And if you are a follower of Jesus, believe me, Satan wants to make you completely ineffective. More than a discourager, he is a destroyer, and he would kill you if he were allowed the opportunity. But now consider the Apostle Paul. How can the guy who said, "I can do all things through the Messiah who strengthens me," how could he be hindered by Satan? Right? Satan wouldn't let me do this. Was Paul a liar? By no means. Paul accomplished all that the Lord had directed him to labor toward in Thessalonica, and the church flourished despite great opposition. By the way, but the way that God used Paul to accomplish his plan for the Thessalonians' salvation was through the example of Paul and his colleagues enduring spiritual opposition and overcoming it through faithful perseverance. So there is this idea, which I think is a biblical idea, that the protection of the Lord is on the servant of the Lord for the duration of the call of the Lord. Let me say it again. The protection of the Lord is on the servant of the Lord for the duration of the call of the Lord. What does that mean? It means that God sends specific people to specific places to deliver specific messages to specific other people for specific amounts of time. And when that time of that calling is up, the protection and the provision of the Lord, which established that work, is now withdrawn. Why? Because he has another place for you to be, to deliver a certain message to certain other people. That's called calling. It's the calling of the Lord. And when the calling is done, no matter how hard that I'm trying to go, the protection of the Lord, which established me being there in the past, is not there anymore. Because the Lord's not holding Satan back to get this thing done. This thing has been done. So in his heart, Paul is telling us, as a human being, I wanted to come back, but the protection of the Lord wasn't there anymore because I've done what I needed to do, and you just need to act on what I told you. So friends, don't be discouraged when you experience spiritual opposition. Be encouraged that while the battle may be fierce, the victory is the Lord's. Now, Satan will get his due, much in the same way that Ron Street got detention for scuffing my shoes. Turns out the principal was right there, saw the whole thing. I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Now, Groundworks Ministries operates entirely through financial donations from faithful people like you. You may be wondering, should I support Groundworks Ministries? Yes, because we need your monthly support. Donating is secure and it's easy at our website, groundworksministries.com. Another way to help is just tell people about Groundworks Ministries. Spread the news. Share these podcasts with friends and family and on your social media. And of course, you can always direct folks to our website, groundworksministries.com.